What's going on, ladies and germs? Welcome to Man Card Podcast, where we like to start off the show with a quote of the week, and I believe Noah's got it started off for us.
Mitchell,
you okay?
We've been doing this for so long that...
What do you mean?
I just don't know if I can do this anymore with you.
Do what?
Do this show, Mitchell. I think we're done.
We're done.
We're done.
No more Man Card.
No more Man Card. I think we're done. I'm going to end it.
Okay.
Like Sophia Franklin.
Hit it. Welcome back to Man Card Podcast. We're glad you're joining us. That was a fantastic quote. Thank you, Noah, so much. It's just honestly my favorite one so far. Anyways, we got a fantastic show for y'all today. We're talking about a lot. But if you wait till the latter half, we're going to help you out. We're going to help you out, homie. If you're in a sticky situation, we're going to help you out. So stick with us, and you'll figure out what that tip is. But let's go on into our topic of the day, the first topic.
So obviously... Mondays are more of our themed episodes. Mm-hmm. Fridays are kind of our script, a little bit more loosey-goosey. But today, we want to talk about getting thrown under the bus.
Shit hurts.
It's painful. It's difficult. And it happens constantly, especially for men in growth. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really important because a lot of times men don't get thrown under the bus enough, especially in today's age. We're all about, everybody gets a trophy. Everybody is, participated. So everybody's equal in that way. No, if you suck, you suck. Yeah. Like if you suck at pitching, you're going to get benched. You shouldn't throw.
There's one of the greatest videos I've seen is a coach goes out and it's a sequence of them. You know exactly what I'm talking about. What you're talking about. Coach comes out of the picture. He's like, out of 1,000, out of the million little leaguers in the world, I got stuck with you.
It's like, you're not the worst, but man, if the worst guy calls out sick, you're it.
You're it.
You're it.
You're shit out of luck.
Yeah. SOL, man. And he's so funny.
It's hilarious.
I'll try to find it and put the link in the description of this video if I can remember. Hold on. I'll write it down.
It's also, I thought it was fake. I almost thought like they were voiceovers because I was like, how do you say that to a kid? But if you watch his lips, he's saying exactly that. It's straight up. He goes out there and he shits on the kids.
Yeah, he's pretty honest, and that's a lot of times, like especially with baseball. I don't know if you've had this before with daddy ball when you were like growing up, and it was the bane of my existence because I played a lot as a kid, and I'm sure you and I might have played each other. Were you playing around? Because you did travel ball, right?
Yeah, I did travel ball. Come like 6th grade,
okay.
7th grade.
So you maybe got a little head start for me because I was doing rec league. I don't know. Maybe my parents just didn't want me to be that hardcore about it.
Just like, he's just not that good. We can't expose him to more people.
I know, that would be horrible. I thought I was pretty good when I was a little kid.
You're what, second base? That shortstop?
No, I could play. Okay. Bench, yeah, I was a bench warmer. I was the water boy, bat boy. So I played any position. Very versatile player, and I mainly did first base, pitching, and right or center. When it came to where I primarily was put, now I could be put everywhere, so it didn't really matter. But when you're in, and that's the thing, which is it, right field or left field? That's like if you're there, you kind of suck.
Right field.
Yeah, right field. Okay. Yeah. So in Little League, it's the opposite because when you're hitting, all these kids are behind the ball, right? So everything goes to right field. When you're older, that kind of switches. Like if you're right-handed, it gets pulled. More right-handed play, yeah. It gets pulled to left field.
You sound really, really smart with baseball right now.
Dude, look at me.
Damn.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Keep going.
Dude, we keep going off. But no, so with Little League, I was in right field a lot, and that was like all the pop flies went to right field. And I remember as a kid, my dad and I would throw hundreds of pop flies to each other in the back. Or I said to each other. I'd bullet it to him, and he'd throw me a pop fly for like 2 hours just in our backyard. And And that meant a lot to me as a kid. I didn't understand it until later, but I was like, those are some bonding moments.
Yeah, those are great.
I didn't throw a football with my dad.
I didn't either.
And I still don't know how to throw football correctly, which I have a badge of honor of not being able to throw a football correctly.
Nice.
But baseball, 100%. And so, with that, I always hated as a kid getting trophies for losing. And I never understood why I hated it. But now as an adult, it makes much more sense. Why are we getting freaking trophies when we lose?
I was the opposite. I just wanted a fucking trophy. I didn't care shit. I didn't care if it said dead last. As long as I got a trophy.
Yeah.
I thought it was the coolest thing.
It was just much more meaningful
if you won.
When we won the series and we're like, oh, like we freaking won. We got trophies.
Yeah. I wish my parents a little bit. So my best friend, his dad is a lot more strict when it comes to sports. He was a coach. Yelled a lot.
Sure.
But like he was coaching. He was,
as any coach should.
Yeah, he wanted his sons to be the best. And I feel like he was one of those dads that like if his son got a like participation trophy, he'd be like, yo, no.
Yeah.
No, don't give my son participation trophy. And I almost look at that like, I think I turned out fine. I think I turned out very competitive, more competitive than I should. But I sit there and wish sometimes that maybe I wish my dad would have done that. Like I'll admit I didn't win every single time. I mean, on the very off chances I didn't.
You idiot.
Those participation trophies I was so excited to get. I almost wish my dad would have been like, nah.
Like you don't.
No, sorry, buddy.
Sorry, you didn't earn that.
You didn't earn that.
And here's the problem with today's society is it's so pervasive. Think of it in terms of cell phones. So like when we were growing up, we didn't have cell phones.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And so like when kids started to get cell phones, we were kind of on that edge, on like one foot in both camps of like no technology, finally thrust into technology kind of thing. Like I grew up on VCRs, right?
Yeah.
The tape decks, tapes, like Be Kind, Rewind, like all this stuff with Blockbuster and whatnot. Blockbuster. Shout out, dude. Rip. Rest in peace. Sidebar. The last Blockbuster that's in existence is closing, but they're turning it into an Airbnb. So you can come stay in the Blockbuster and watch movies with some of your best friends. And awesome. And I definitely want to do that. But yeah, so we grew up in both camps, right? And so think back to, what was it, like the end of middle school into high school is when like iTouches and all of those like handheld technologies kind of became mainstream. iPods, exactly. When you had a kid... No, I'm just saying when you had a kid like that was one of your peers in school, and they came in with whatever product, and you saw that, did you feel some kind of like, well, he got that, like
I need that.
I feel like I should have that, or like need that, or some level of like.
Yeah. That's how every kid is now too.
Exactly, yes. And so it's hard because I didn't have a cell phone until I was in high school.
Oh wow!
At all. Right? And that's not even smartphone. I'm just saying like a cell phone at all. Because we had cell phones like way back in like the early thousands, right? But I didn't have a cell phone until I was in high school, in 9th grade. And I feel very happy for that. And when I got a cell phone, it was not a smartphone. It was a like keypadded kind of like...
Those are the best.
It was
Those
like
are still the best.
I think it was like a Metro PCS like piece of crap phone. But you like... It had a keyboard on it, and like I texted.
You could text so fast that the typing wasn't keeping up.
Wasn't keeping up.
Quick.
Yeah.
You'd finish the message and you just sit there, watch it type out.
It's so cool once you got good at it. Yeah. I loved the physical buttons though.
Same.
That was great. But like my parents did it right, where they knew the inundation of technology was coming, but what they did is they played gatekeeper. Right. And so they hedged, they took all of the things that I could have access to and hedged it to be like, okay, let's barrier the entry here to say you're finally this old, you earn this very low level of technology. Right. And then going forward from there. I think that was really important in my development. And this goes into like participation trophies and like being inundated by culture. If you just get everything out the gate, like if you just get a cell phone, Android phone right out the gate. Sorry, iPhone users. I also have an iPhone, but I don't know why I used Android.
I don't know why I used Android either.
Android was ahead of its time at that time.
Yeah.
And so let's say you get an Android phone, and now you have unlimited unlimited, unfettered access to the entire everything,
the world.
Mm-hmm. There's no barriers anymore, and so my parents were nervous about that. And so what that did for me, and I don't know if you remember this, it lowered my need to like have advances in that quicker. Like I didn't have gaming console until I think I was in middle school, right?
Yeah, I think we grew up very differently.
Because did you have all that stuff early?
I remember my dad got me a gaming console when I was like in 2nd, 3rd grade, PlayStation 2.
Okay.
That was never the first one I got, PlayStation 2. I didn't get I got one of those Firefly phones that had like 4 contacts, that 4 buttons you can press in like 5th or 6th grade. And then come 7th grade, I got my first flip phone. And then I think by high school, I think it was freshman year of high school, I got my first iPhone.
Nice. And those were the brick ones.
Yeah. The
little 3Gs.
Small, yep. I think it was the iPhone 4.
It was the 4? Okay, cool.
And I remember just being a first world problem right here anyway. Real pissed off because I got the 4 and then like a week later the 5 came out and I could have got the 5 if I would have waited. Like my dad said, my dad's like, hey, if you can wait one more week, we'll get you the 5 will come out.
Yep.
And I was like, no, I got to have the iPhone. I got to have it. And got it. The next one came out. And I was like, I was pissed. I threw a tantrum. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Well, and what's great now is they have the trade-in program. So like you can bring in your old iPhones, get like $500 and then like put it forward
I just went
towards.
through a whole whirl of nonsense just to get this phone. It's ridiculous.
Is that the new 12?
This is the 12 mini.
That's so cute. Can I hold it?
Yes, it's awesome. It's really, honestly, it's awesome.
Dude, that's kind of nice.
Isn't it? I when they first came out with the mini, I sat there and thought, I was like, who in the world would want to go backwards? Like everything that was coming out was bigger, better, thinner. And like this is going backwards. This is thicker and smaller. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, my dad hates how the modern phones are so big. So, but he likes the modern. He's now updated on the modern phones, and so I think
an Android person.
No. Okay, he's iPhone. He hates Apple, but he's with the iPhone crowd because work pays for it. I think he would really enjoy that because he loved like the iPhone 4, like the small brick.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what that is. I think
it's amazing.
I think he'd enjoy that.
But the hassle I went through. Okay, so basically, long story short, my family just switched from T-Mobile to AT&T.
Welcome to the family.
Right as I was starting Palo Alto.
Yeah.
And then I found out so I went from iPhone XR to an iPhone 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I found out that my company would pay for up to $125 for my phone bill. I was like, shit.
Per month?
Yes, per month.
Wow.
I was like, but I have to be on my own plan. So I was like, oh my gosh, this gives me like a plethora of ideas. Like I can go anywhere I want, get whatever phone I want, whatever plan I want. So I was like, okay, I'm going Verizon because you know what, Verizon's
pretty great.
Verizon's great.
Yeah.
They're just overpriced. But long story short, I waited too long to do that. That now I have my iPhone 12 from AT&T that I couldn't get back to them because it was right outside the 2-week mark to like trade it back in for free.
Yep.
So I have to pay that phone off, 12, and then I had to get this one, and I had to wait like a certain amount of time to get this one. And when it finally came in, I had activation issues. Then I went. They said, "Oh, sorry, the activation issue won't work until the end of the weekend." So I had to wait till the end of the weekend. Hello, and it was just a pain in the ass. But now, here, you little piece of man card here. I am on my own phone plan.
Yo, there you go.
Own phone bill.
That's a good chip.
It is.
It's nice. A good milestone.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so just so you know, the background noise is my lovely wife just walked in the door. Hello, Ellie. Yeah, there she is. She's a darling, so she just got back from work. And no, that water sound in the background is not her going to the bathroom. It is her getting water from the fridge. So get your mind out of the gutter. So yes, I'm same camp as you. So it's funny you mentioned phone plans to talk about like humility. It's a little bit of a knock on Ellie and me. We are not on our own phone plans yet.
Stay that way as long as you can.
So we're still on our parents' plans. And so we're still. I'm on my own health plan with work, which is great.
Yeah.
And Ellie will soon be on. Actually, I think she'll soon be on. She actually might stay on her parents' health plan for a while.
I'm still on mine
because it doesn't save them money to take her off their plan.
Same.
Right, because it's multiple kid thing, and then if she comes onto mine, it would only cost us
more.
That's
how it is with me. It wouldn't save my mom anymore, but it would cost me more. And since I'm living at home right now, she's like, you know what, just stay on mine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We don't care.
So we're going to ride that out for as long as we can. And then obviously the phone plan thing, I obviously hey Dad, you listen. Let me know if I need to get off the phone plan.
Oh, there you go. You screwed it up.
I know, I did. Also, I don't care. Like, if I need to get off the phone plan, that's something I need to do. But it's not the biggest deal. Whatever. Anyway, back to the main topic. Participation culture, participating in culture. What did I say?
Participating in culture.
Yeah.
So bad.
So horrible.
Don't be cultural.
I mean, no, that's true. Like, don't like overindulge yourself in pop culture. I think it's a little mucho when you like are all in for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like my parents ratcheted me into society, and I think that was a really good way to do it. Because I never had the like reliance on technology that I feel like a lot of my peers have. Like I can say no to social media in an instant. I haven't had Instagram, Snapchat, like Facebook, you name it, on my phone for like almost 2 years now.
Yeah, that's great.
Like I haven't. I mean, I'll go on my computer and look up Instagram. I'll like re-download Snapchat every once in a while to make sure nobody's like sending me anything. Of course, nobody is. I think you create your own problems.
Yeah.
Or like your own conversations when you have that and like make it seem like people want to talk to you. Nobody wants to talk to you.
You're right. No one cares.
Nobody cares.
So it's actually ironic you say that today. I was on, I don't know, I think it was Instagram, but like someone posted like their workout, like their Apple Watch, like, oh, I just, burned 100 or like 1,000 calories on my walk. And I sat back and like the first times I sat,
1,000 calorie walk.
Well, not 1,000 calories.
They're running up Everest?
It was something very normal. And I sat back, I was like, who honestly fucking cares?
No, who cares?
Like genuinely, like why did you like? Who cares?
Well, and that's the problem with influencers today is I feel, and this is a big knock on like all things that we love and cherish about pop culture. It's a little too glorified in the sense of like we're going out and they're doing the most mundane things. Like I'll see some like bleed over onto YouTube. It's my primary way of getting news and staying in touch with pop culture is YouTube. But, they're doing these stupid dances. And like, no offense, like I get it. The hustle is real and they make their money somehow. But like come on, man.
Yeah, no.
Like that's how they're making money. And these kids are growing up thinking that this is the real world. And it makes me concerned for the future, because like we were saying with like the worst we really had it when we were kids was getting participation trophies with like sporting events, baseball.
Yeah. Like
that was as bad as it got. Now it's these kids are growing up in a fake world where they think that you can be TikTok famous. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's also, I mean, you can even go down a worse hole with that is, I mean, think about the whole Corinna thing with the David Dobrik. She posted one nude picture and she made a crap ton of money. And then there was a whole video out that, granted it was a whole prank, but they went up and interviewed her and it was like, she was pissed. She's like, I'm the only one in David's friend group that didn't get gifted a car. And the interviewer was like, well, weren't you gifted your whole career? And then, it's one of those things. It's like,
I do love his vlogs though.
Yeah. So like she got all the publicity. I can't say it. Publicity.
Pub.
Okay. Publicity.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Whew. Had an aneurysm there.
That's okay. I forgive you.
And she says I worked for it. Granted, I'm not saying she didn't. She might have done other things, but like you posted a boob picture and made $4 million. Like
that's crazy.
That's not real. Not real.
Well, okay. First of all, impressive. That's crazy impressive that people obviously will pay that for that.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with the TikTokers. It's crazy that a company would pay them to do the little shimmy
like Wish, like the Wish House.
Yeah.
Like Wish.com. Yeah. The most cringy content you'll ever see online. It's like the smoke bombs in the box with the stupid bears. Mm-hmm. It drives me crazy. And I'm like, okay, look, do I watch these because I'm curious about how they turn out? Yes. Do they turn out?
That's how it gets you.
It's how it gets you. And I'm like, and think of it like, and I'm an adult. Okay, not fully an adult, but like I'm 23 damn years old. And these stupid kids are getting me hooked into these videos where they put a smoke bomb in a box with a teddy bear. Imagine kids are now watching this that have much less societal understanding than I do. And they're like, oh man, like is that all it takes? And then they're the ones going out like throwing rocks at cars that are driving by, and like going out and pranking and like throwing gallons of milk on the ground in grocery stores to get views. Yeah. And I'm like, it's like we're creating little menaces of society.
And it's also, I was thinking about this, is like, ever since the pandemic and people have been working from home, a lot of people will refuse to go in office because I just want a remote job. I want to work my own hours for whatever company, and companies are actually adapting to that. And it's like
they should say no. They should be like,
It's almost like you have to work less, like half as hard to make as much as
or more
people did a decade ago.
Yeah. And so I saw this on Joe Rogan the other day. But there's the saying, and stop me if you've heard it. I'll still say it for everybody out there. But it's hard times make hard men. Mm-hmm. Hard men make good times. Mm-hmm. Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times. So it's this
circle. Yep.
It's this cycle, and we're currently right now in a really, really good time.
Yep.
And it's hard to create, and even us, like, you know what I mean. Like we're weak men in a lot of aspects, and I think it's just really hard to create really strong men in a culture that is so easy
and so good right now.
Yeah.
Because they don't see any issues. They don't see any need for improvement. I sit there and kick myself in the ass all the time thinking my grandfather can go in the backyard and build a full-on shed and deck.
Yeah.
Not looking up YouTube videos, nothing. Like just reading instructions and going to the hardware store.
Yep.
Buying the supplies and make that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't build you a birdhouse without having to look up like a YouTube video or like
Bo Burnham, he's 30. He just turned 30 years old, and when his grandpa was 30, is one of his songs from his comedy bit. But when his grandpa was 30, he was in Vietnam. Now Bo Burnham is 30, and he built a birdhouse with his mom. Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
It perfectly encapsulates it's almost like the punishment on society for soft expectations.
Yeah,
which is it's so terribly sad to see that like we're getting lulled into this false sense of confidence in ourselves when it's like power goes out.
What do we do? Yeah,
like,
we don't know.
Like we don't have access to running water. We don't have access to any kind of energy. We can't clean ourselves. Like there's just so many, like go down the gambit. I'd say a good solid over half of society today, if the power went out and, we didn't have access to grocery stores for food, I think a lot of people would die.
Yeah.
Because they just couldn't survive.
If they wanted the whole, genocide thing, if Bill Gates wanted, population control, just kill the power for 24 hours.
Yes.
That's it.
No, big leap.
Yeah.
Big leap.
You don't need to send out this damn COVID thing.
Not medical advice.
But we were also talking about that before we even started this podcast think about Google.
Mm-hmm.
How did, we sit there and think, how did people get knowledge? Like, how did people know things?
Yeah.
Prior to just going on their phone, going on the internet and looking up Google. Like they went to a library, and you can explain the whole story that,
Well, so Ellie the other day, we were sitting on the couch, and it's just a funny story, and she's going to hate me for saying it, which, fine, I'll take flack for it later. But she was sitting on the couch, and she turned to me and said, oh, hey, this podcast I'm listening to now, these girls are like mentioning these books and have the links posted. I don't want to buy more books. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just have books lying around that I've read. And so, and I thought she was kidding. She was like, where do I get books? And I said, look up online Little Free Library. It's like those little libraries that people give and take and put books in. Because I thought she was kidding. And she was like, oh, do they have like specific books though? Like I want specific books. And I'm like, a library? Like just a standard library? And she was like, oh my gosh, like I totally forgot they existed. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happens when you have the explosion of technology. And of course, I'm not blaming my wife for being silly or anything. Like it was just a funny story. But that I think that speaks to the greater societal like dulling with time is like what do we do? Like, okay, we don't have internet, so then we have to go back to books, right? We go back to books, and then it's like, okay, not all the information is in the books, then where do we find the information? Well, okay, so then we go back to word of mouth. Very tribal. Well, right now with COVID and like all of our societal social media, we think we're closer than we are. People can't communicate to each other. We're put in a situation where then it's like we don't have the information in books. We have to actually go talk to people. Then we go talk to people. We can't talk to people. We don't have friends that know this information. We've put ourselves in these little bubbles that like we have no diversity of skill, no diversity of thought, no diversity of strength, ability. Like there's no diversity in that way. So here's a question for you. Do you have like I like to think of myself as a little bit of a mental prepper. Do you have like okay, if the zombies come tomorrow or we're nuked tomorrow, where am I going?
Yeah.
So what's your plan? I'm curious.
If zombies came or
power grid turns off. Like we're hacked and United States shuts down.
Franklin, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay.
Franklin, North Carolina.
Why North Carolina?
Okay, for multiple reasons. One, let's just say zombie apocalypse, or just power went out, or let's just say a bomb was coming to Atlanta and I had to get out immediately. Where do I want to go to like safety? Franklin, North Carolina, because one, in the mountains, so you have tons of resources already because you have greenery, you have wildlife, things like that.
Natural springs.
Second off, it's beautiful. I mean, I kind of want to enjoy the place. Nice weather, and then also it's just away from other people. It's away from a lot of huge civilization.
Sure.
Because I remember, going to a cabin with people up in North Carolina and being like, wow, this is so like secluded, so nice. Did I say that word right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Secluded, away from population.
Okay, great, awesome. I'm really bad with words
today.
Did
you read a book on your trip, Marshall? Your vocabulary is increasing.
I audiobook them, but
still counts.
I sat there and thought, if anything happens, this is where I would go, because first off, zombie apocalypse, it would all be near the cities. It'd be huge populations. Yes, every once in a while you'd have to fight off one or two. I would just want to get away, and I love North Carolina and Franklin, North Carolina.
It's a pretty state.
Yeah.
Very pretty state.
It's actually kind of hard to get to sometimes.
Yes, for sure.
In the Franklin area,
especially like roads, like driving through those mountain roads, even in North Georgia, like not even up all the way to North Carolina, but like just getting through North Georgia is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's especially like if you have an off-road vehicle, like I don't know, a Jeep. It will come in handy.
Yeah, for about 10 miles till it runs out of gas.
Hey, you know what? That's why you keep gas cans in the back. That's why I am excited for these electric trucks and stuff that are coming out, because we can set up solar panels and like
boom, unlimited power.
Yeah, we get to go.
Unlimited power.
But my plan, so like my mind immediately goes to like step 1, step 2, step 3. Like what would I like my first 3 things that I would do? First of all, I would assume in the scenario that I have weaponry or defense already accessible. So try to stay away from gun shops. I feel like that would be a bad place to go, because everybody will want to go to the gun shop, even if you don't like guns. Yeah. So avoid those. I'd go straight to like a Costco or like a Dick's or whatever.
Yeah. To a Dick's.
Oh, what's it called?
BJ's?
No, BJ's.
The fact that you made that, you said that. You said Dick's, and I was
no.
BJ's. Oh, blowjobs. Okay,
that's gonna come back to bite me later. So BJ's or whatever, and you get food, right? Stock up on all like canned goods, like hella canned goods, and then from there it's 3 a shelter. Like where am I going to stay? And so that's like in my mind like camper vans, like mobility or ability to sleep anywhere. Yeah. I mean, baseline, you can just go to, Dick's and get like tents and camping gear. REI would be a great place to go. Get some like meals, like mountain house meals.
Yeah.
Right. And then just find your way, mosey on way. And then also like knowing people, like who you would immediately call.
Yep.
I think that's a big thing too. So like I'd obviously call my uncle, Marine, call him immediately. And then also we have a couple friends that are like have arsenals of weaponry already.
I was going to say that one of the things I would get is definitely a weapon.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh,
load up on that, because
definitely.
You never know what's going to happen.
Well, and also not just weaponry to defend, but weaponry to get food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're gonna very quickly have to
learn how to hunt.
Default to, okay, there's a deer, I got to get that deer ASAP.
And you got to learn how to cook it.
You learn how to strip it, you can learn how to cook it. Sorry, bunnies. We were gonna raise you, but now we're gonna eat you. So that's actually a really good way to send you straight to the halftime show. I hope you enjoyed that first half, but the second half we're actually gonna switch gears, and I'm not gonna tease it too much, but we'll see you right after this. What's up, everybody, and welcome to your Man Card podcast, show within a show, Man Card mini halftime episode. Today's topic is cups. So I want to talk to you about what your favorite cup is.
This is my favorite cup. What
is this your favorite cup?
This is my favorite cup.
Okay, aside from the manliest mug that we offer on mancardpodcast.com, sponsor, what is your favorite thing to bring liquid to your mouth orifice?
My favorite one. Okay, so Blender Bottle sells a thermos.
Ooh.
Like one of
the
those
ones that you like.
Yeah, shake up, but one of the ones that will keep your water and everything cold. But the lid is also plastic because I don't want to put my lips to cold metal every time. That's just weird to me. So it has a plastic top, but it's
little Mitchell got the sensitive lips.
Hey, you asked me what my favorite cup was. I'm answering the damn question.
Gets his ears pierced and has sensitive lips.
I was actually really freaked out about that still. I even looked up on Google, how bad does it hurt to get your ears pierced?
Okay, I'm glad it didn't. Yeah. So it's got a plastic top.
It's got a plastic top, screw off lid, and then it's, the whole metal container, and it keeps your liquids cold. My favorite thing to put in it, though, ice, mocha coffee.
Okay.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm not a coffee guy. So when it comes to like jobs, like work, internships and whatnot, they'll give you like mugs and stuff and like tumblers.
Yeah.
But it's for coffee. Like I don't drink coffee. Of course I end up just putting water into it. And I'm so thankful that they give me, swag for the company. But I'm like, can you give me like a jacket or something?
T-shirt?
A T-shirt? Or like, I don't want a tumbler. Another tumbler.
So what's your favorite cup then?
So my favorite cup is, the Tarvis like double layer plastic cups that have the like logos in them.
Yeah,
like Suburban Mom
those.
cups.
Yep. Yeah, we used to use those all the time.
Yeah.
Back at your other place.
Exactly. So those are probably my favorite for multiple reasons. One, they don't sweat. So when you put it on the counter, you can put it anywhere and not use a coaster, and it's not a problem. The other reason is they are huge. They're big cups. And so I drink a lot of water. And so I don't know if you notice this, but when you go to restaurants and you're like, oh, I'll just have a cup of water. The cup is like itty bitty size. Yeah. I'm like, okay, what is it? What do you think? Like, just because I drink water, I don't drink as much as other people. Like, I end up just going and filling it up 100 times. But that one, or like a Hydro Flask with like a sucking. A sucking lid that you can like with an internal straw. Those are my favorite cups. But our favorite cups, you mentioned at the beginning, the manliest mug, as you can see here. Go check it out, mancardpodcast.com. We have merch there, mugs, hoodies, beanies, shirts, ladies, crop top
hoodies. Oh, man.
I'm telling you.
Still waiting for someone to send me a picture of them working out on that because I
know.
Guy or girl, honestly, at this point, because I think they're badass.
I think they're so cool. Honestly, it would be ironic for a guy, and I think it's hilarious for a girl too. It has the manliest verification stamp on it. I think she goes into the gym with her Gymshark pants,
leggings,
dude. I'm telling you that would slap.
The fit would be great.
That would slap. But anyway, we will send you right back to the main part of the episode, mancardpodcast.com. Check it out. We'll see you in a second.
Welcome back to the main episode. I am so glad you made it through that halftime show. We are here to give you terrible dating advice.
Yes, we haven't done this in a minute.
For two guys that have, dating history has just been, dating history.
Horrible.
It's horrible. You're married now, and I just can't. I always seem to just go into straight long-term relationships. I don't know anything. I don't know how to I don't know why we're giving advice about this because I don't know how to get out of little ones, and you're already committed.
I think it's probably the best reason why we should is because we've had such a bad experience. So it's like kind of like, hey, don't do this kind of thing. So my dating experience was so bad that I had to get out of the game. I had to get married to get out of the dating game.
I'm sick of this dating shit.
I'm so bad. I'm so bad at dating that I have to stop as soon as possible. So, and that was getting married to the love of my life. I love you, babe.
See, me and my friends, they always give me shit because they think they wouldn't say it like this, but this is how I think of it in my head when we talk about it, is that I'm really good at dating because well, here's the thing. I can't seem to be in a short-term relationship. Like all my relationships are 6 months plus,
That's hilarious.
A year plus or whatever.
Yeah.
That like I can't, not necessarily that I want to have like a, little summer fling or like a 1 month, a little relationship, but like I always get in committed relationships and they always are a blast, and I gotta choose my words carefully because I'm in a relationship right now, so I don't want to say anything stupid.
Bella, watch out.
But yeah, that's my issue is, okay, we're talking about how to get, basically, long story short, we're trying to talk about how to get out of dates, how to get out of dating. And honestly, I don't know why we even chose me we should just replace me with somebody else right now. Because I don't know how to apparently get out of it.
No, I think this is actually a really good conversation because I think the insight for both sides is important.
Okay.
So for me, I have a history of short-term relationships, like really quick, like meaningless, like flings and like all this stuff that's like, I definitely regret some of it. Okay, hold on. I just contradicted myself from an earlier episode.
Yeah,
I don't regret it. I learned a lot, but it's something that I wouldn't necessarily go back and do again. So I learned a lot, and it made me who I am today. But so getting out of stuff. So for relationships, if you're dating somebody and you want to get out of the relationship, and you're like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know. Have you seen this? Wildin' Out. What's that?
Wildin' Out. I love Wildin' Out.
Okay, so I'm so glad I named that correctly.
Wildin' Out. I love Wildin' Out.
So a lot of their clips, like really funny clips, are on the new like YouTube Shorts thing.
Yeah.
I keep talking about YouTube. Anyway, whatever. They're on YouTube, and I'll be swiping through and I'll watch one, and they have some of the best like one-liner breakups ever. And one of them that like I just watched is he's with this girl on the stage, and he's like, "You're the love of my life," all this stuff. And he's like, 1 second. Yep. Sorry, did we cut out? Okay. And it's like,
he takes out his little
earpiece. He's like, and did you need something?
Yep. I've seen that one. That one's fantastic.
So obviously those are a little bit more funny. But I think when it comes to getting out of a relationship, whether it's serious or like you're just kind of like having fun time or whatever, I think the best way to go about it is just going up to it with a little, not too much, but a little bit of levity. Not like being funny about it, but like having an air of like, I've loved the time that we've been able to spend together. And then, obviously one of the worst things I feel like you can say when trying to get out of a relationship is, I just want to stay friends.
It's not you, it's me.
It's not you, it's me. I think, and I learned this lesson the hard way. And my dad, he used to write me letters when I was a kid, when I would mess up. Because in the moment, I'm not necessarily one to be hearing it. So he writes me a letter and gives it to me so that I can read it later. Thanks, Dad. You're the best. So I read all of those letters, of course, and I'll find them like scattered throughout all my old things every once in a while. And I'll reread them and I'll go, man, that's really good advice. And one of the best pieces of advice that I got from one of those letters was, you can't be friends. Can't be friends with your ex. Like, especially not immediately after you break up.
You're right.
It can't be done.
You're right.
And you're lying to yourself if you think that you can. Emotions are too high. It's too intense. Really, when you go into ending that, you need to go into it with the air of confidence in being alone. Because men, and I also heard this the other day, men are always alone. Because when a man breaks his ankle, you're kind of taking yourself to the hospital.
Yeah.
Right? Ladies break their ankle, whatever. You're being like, men are coming in or other women are coming in and taking you to the hospital. Men are kind of like, we're always on our own when it comes to all that kind of stuff.
Not to make it, stereotypical, but I watched a social experiment.
What's new? Please do.
That's all we talk about. But anyway, I watched a YouTube social experiment where a guy would like start screaming at his girlfriend and then like rough her up a little bit.
Sure.
All these people would jump in and like save the day, be like, yo, what the you doing? Like blah, blah, blah. And then they would reverse it where the girl would start beating the crap out of the guy or whatever in public. And people would laugh. People would sit there and be like pointing, laughing.
Oh, what did he do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's that double-bladed sword where it's just, I'm thinking of the word, double standards.
Yeah.
That no one's gonna. You're right. If you're a guy, most likely you're not having someone come to your rescue when it comes to something small like that. To an extent.
And really, if you can learn a lesson in trying to like be alone as a man, like I do really bad. Just in all honesty, being alone. Like when I'm alone for too long, my emotional state like really, really starts to depress. I don't get depressed, but it's like I really like Rolling Stone starts to slow down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like I have no motivation to go do things. I just really slow down. So when I'm around people, it makes a really big difference. I'm like, let's go. Like I'm amped up. I'm really energized. But I had to learn this lesson the hard way of being alone is one of the most important things you can learn. So my senior year of high school, you would think senior year, best year of high school. You don't have to do anything. It's a waste of time in the first place, but you get to goof around and not do any work. Mm-hmm. So I ended up full-time dual enrolling. I think I've mentioned this before at Kennesaw State University, right? And I didn't understand the concept of credit hours. So I ended up taking like the amount of classes that I was taking in high school.
Which is like 7.
Yeah, which is like 7 classes. And I would end up taking like 17, 18 credit hours at the same time.
Yeah.
And so my spring semester, senior year, which is supposed to be the easiest, I ended up taking Chemistry 2, which is a half skip jump away from Orgo, Chem 2 lab, Physics lab, Calculus, and Econ, all at the same time. I ended up doing okay, pretty well, but I had to be alone, right? When I saw friends, it was one day a week on Sunday at church, right? So I saw friends that one day. Every other day of the week, I would go to school, I'd drive to Kennesaw, do work there, come home, work till 10, 11:30, 12 at night, go to sleep, wake up, repeat. Do it again every single day.
Which brings us to our first tip. If you're trying to get out of it, just say you have homework,
Yes.
I got homework.
I got homework.
I'm too busy.
That was another thing my parents did was I was a big fan of like being with my family. So we had Friday family fun nights. Like we would get together.
If you said family fun night or whatever to a girl, I'm telling you, she thought, okay, this dude's so full of shit.
Right. Okay. But it wasn't. And I literally would go hang out and watch movies with my parents and sister. Like it was the best time. And we still do it to this day. Like I'll skip out on things with friends on Friday nights to go be with my parents, with my wife, and like watch a movie.
That's great.
Which is awesome. I'm actually probably going to text my dad after this and say like, hey, what are you guys doing this weekend? You want to go watch Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings? But I would always say to friends, I would blame it on my parents. Did your parents ever do that for you?
Yeah, they would always.
Yeah, they'd be like, just blame it on me. Just blame it on me. Mm-hmm. Like I'll be the bad guy because they don't care. You know what I mean? Like it's no skin off their nose if like this one friend this one time thinks that like my parents hung me up for something or whatever. So I'd always go like, oh man, I got chores or something to do.
I'm okay. So I want to take. It's not even advice. I just deal with this on a regular basis with my best friend in terms of him bailing on things. What he would always do, and he's like, I just sit there and be like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Don't come, whatever. He waits. He'll like build it up. My bad. Do I need to get closer? All right.
I just want to hear your sexy voice.
He'll build it up that he's coming. It's going to be a great time. Like he's super thrilled. And then like, let's just make an example. We're going out to eat at Taco Mac.
By the way, you're getting called out big time, boy.
Yeah. No, but he knows it. I mean, in one of my friend's phone, his contact is Bailing Blake. So it's like... I mean,
it's just his shtick.
It's 100% his stick. He's gotten a lot better, but in the past he would like make, oh yeah, I can't wait, we still going, blah blah. He'd make it like he was like the leader of it, like his idea. So we all get there and like, hey Blake, are you coming? He's like, yeah, I'm just stuck at home with like my parents. I'm like doing something or whatever. And then some time goes by and he's like, hey guys, I'm just not gonna be able to make it today. I'm still stuck here. Doing laundry or like my mom. Came up with something I need to do or whatever. Yeah. But he'll like build it up so that way like he sounds like he's the most excited about it. Like he was 100% going to be there. He was going to be there without a doubt. And then like he still give you some hope that's like, oh yeah, he's coming. He's just gonna be late. And then it's you get that text and it's like, hey guys, I'm just not gonna be able to make it.
Damn.
He's done it so many times that like we used to not get as pissed because we're like, oh, he was definitely going to come, but something obviously came up because he built it up. He was like, I'm there 100%.
Maybe that was his way to combat the like, oh, he's just not coming again.
Yeah.
He's exactly. Like, oh no, he really wanted to come.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what he did.
Yeah.
And I mean, there you go. If you want to do it with a date, just be like, look, I'm super excited for the day. I can't wait to see you. I'm going to pick you up at this time. We're going to go to the favorite, blah, blah, blah. And you like make it like this was your idea. You make it a priority. And then so when you do get out of it and flake, it's like she doesn't register in her mind like, oh, he didn't want to see me. It's like, oh, something must have really happened. And then you ghost her and then you're good.
Yeah. Okay. So have you been ghosted?
I've been ghosted once.
Because Bella ghosted
me. Yep, that's the one I was thinking of. And then I've ghosted one person and then half ghosted another.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So one, I did a random stranger photo shoot with somebody. So my mom has a friend who wanted to get in the photography business, and she had this idea that she was going to match 2 random strangers and do a photo shoot with them as a couple.
Cool.
Just to see if, how chemistry was. And I did it with this person, and she was great. She was nice. And I just got so pressured at the end. They're like, okay, we're just going to leave y'all alone. Y'all do whatever you want to do. And so we sat and talked for an hour, and then, we exchanged numbers, and she texted me a couple times no, I can't do it. I didn't send anything back.
You're like, oh, this is work.
Yep. I was
okay, here's another thing. So in college, I don't know if you had this happen, but my freshman year, so I was a summer freshman, and one of the lessons you quickly learn is you don't shit where you sleep.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was a big shtick on the hall, was don't date people on your hall. Mm-hmm. And so of course, I ignored the rules.
Yeah. So I shat all over my bed.
Yeah. So you of course, it's you're a freshman, you're young, you're stupid. And so it's well, I go to parties with these people all the time. And she's right there, it's it's so easy just to go see her or whatever. Because that's such a new experience for somebody who's going from, high school, being at home, having to if you do sneak out and go see somebody, it's so sneaky.
Those are fun though.
Yeah. Which is,
but yeah,
thanks Dad for catching me every time. But in college, the sneaking out is, hey, what's up? You just walk out, nobody's there, nobody's monitoring you. You can do anything you want. Mm-hmm. And I was of course, took full advantage of that as a freshman. But getting out of those situations a little bit harder, because then it's you're just there all the freaking time.
You see them all the time,
every day. You go to dinner with them, go to breakfast with them, go to parties with them.
You can't ghost them,
because
they're going to see you. Have to end it.
Yeah, and so the only way that those end, this girl that I was seeing freshman year for a minute, she super nice, but it ended up working out to the point where I didn't join a fraternity. And this happened with a couple girls I actually dated, where I didn't join a fraternity, and it ended up just being they just ghosted me, and we ghosted each other. In a fraternity? Yeah, I wasn't in a fraternity, because they would go hang out with their fraternity, and I wasn't there, so they just wouldn't hang out with me. And so when I was a summer freshman, of course, shit where you sleep. So I'm just here, and I'm hanging out with this girl, and the red flag. Here's a funny red flag. I was moving rooms in the same building, right? Mm-hmm. From my summer room to my fall room. And this girl was there, and we were my parents were there, and we were moving all this stuff. And of course my parents will remember this story, and they'll laugh about it with me later. But we were moving my stuff, and she did not lift a finger. One finger to move one item at all.
She just sat there and talked?
Yes.
And hung out?
Sat there and talked the whole time. And my dad pulled me aside at one point. He's like, is she going to move at all? And I'm like, yeah, I guess not. I don't know. I don't know what her deal is right now. Cause she's peppy. She's a very peppy person, but I was like, I guess she's not going to freaking help. And she never did. And then we moved, and she moved somewhere else into another building. Never talked to her again. And she was in the business school too. So I saw her, never talked to her again.
Wow.
And we shared classes too. Never said another word to her again. And
so it was a mutual ghost, though.
I guess it was a mutual ghost, but I was I also that fall didn't join a fraternity, and she also was hanging out with specific fraternities, and so just never saw her. And then another girl I dated, I was rushing, and then we started seeing each other, and she was like, "Oh, are you gonna join?" Because one of the big fraternities at Tech is Fiji. Yes. Right.
Yeah. It's a big one.
They're all that and a bag of chips. Actually, multiple bags of chips. They are the bag of chips. And a lot of them are business school. So I was going to the business school, and obviously it made a lot of sense to rush that fraternity. Didn't pledge. And so this girl,
done. I want a frat guy.
We just never talked to each other again. And I got pissed. I was like, that's so shallow.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? It's also just your circumstances. It's you get put in a class with somebody, and you have that class, and you talk to them all the time. And then the next year, this happened a lot in high school. Then the next year you don't have class with them, and it's y'all aren't even friends anymore.
Yeah, you don't talk to them.
Y'all talk the whole time during class.
That's why high school, in my mind, for dating, and then college as well, in certain respects, is horrible. It's a horrible environment to date. Because really, let's be honest. You're only dating these people due to proximity, right?
Of course.
Like you're close to them.
Yes.
You're in the same class. You see them, even if you're not in the same classes, you see them every day. They're at the football games. They're in the area. They go do things on the weekend together. Like it's just so compressed. And then that's why, like, I would say 99% of high school relationships don't last.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, you were only
then
dating.
You go to college and you don't see each other every single day.
Yep. So it's like you were only dating out of convenience versus function. And so that's a really easy way to just be like sayonara from any high school relationship. And that's what I did. Is I was going into college and I was like, nope, don't want to date anybody here at the end. Let's just be done. Because I was dating somebody my senior year freshman. Senior year freshman. What?
Senior year of high school.
Spring senior year of high school. I was dating somebody. And she actually, talk about being rejected. I should have mentioned this on the other podcast. I totally forgot about it. But yes, I have been rejected. And we were dating. And I was a very busy guy. And I did everything I could to go out of my way and prioritize being with her and making time. And she, I guess, felt that I wasn't making enough time. Even though I was like, hey, look, I'm busy. I've got a lot of school to do. She texted me. The last text was like, oh, man, you're so sweet. Or whatever. Like, I love hanging out with you and all this stuff. And then the next text was, hey, like, we should break up. She broke up with me over text.
Wow. That was...
Yeah. It's cold. It was cold.
Well, I mean... Okay, I agree. If you date someone for a while, you probably shouldn't break up over text. You should almost never break up over text. But I sit there and think, Lexi and I dated, 5 years? Mm-hmm. And we broke up over the phone. And... I literally didn't see her I haven't seen her since before we broke up.
That's crazy.
Like, literally the last time I saw her, and I know I make the joke. I told her this is the last time I'm going to be here. Last time I'm ever going to come, like, you're going to see me. And granted, I was joking at the time, but boom.
You just self-fulfilled that prophecy there.
I have not seen her to this day.
Yeah. Because we had only dated for like 2 or 3 months at that time.
So maybe text was, still.
But no, here's the thing about the text is it was completely random. Like there was no prior conversation of like, oh, I want to break up or whatever. It was like just, okay, we're broken up. Never heard from her again. And she blocked me on everything, which I was very confused by because I was like, what? Like I didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
So usually you block people because it's like you do something wrong. I was like, we didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, and I saw that girl, dude. So when Ellie and I were dating, we went to Passion.
Uh-huh.
And this chick's like pretty plugged in at Passion, apparently. And we were walking through the lobby leaving, and I saw this chick. I saw her. It's the first time.
Hey, you.
Hey,
you.
Stop right where you are. But I saw her, and I was like, babe, this is the girl that ghosted me so long ago. And you don't forget.
Yeah, no, you don't.
You don't forget.
No.
And it's not like I'm angry at her or anything. I'd love the chance to like say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I don't care. Obviously, I have a wife now, so obviously it's no skin off my nose. But it's like, if we think through life, like getting closure, if people came to the table in good faith and were willing to be mature and have a conversation and say like, here, this is exactly what happened. I just didn't like you anymore. And imagine if we could do that. Because I feel like in the South, and Ellie mentioned this, like before we started recording today, but she was like, in the South, especially in Georgia, people like to sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
Like to cover up
people
the
pleasers. Yep.
Yeah.
You go to New York, they'll tell you fuck you to your face.
Oh, easily. And ironically, I think those places are like some of the most racially charged places because it's like, they're like, hey, screw you, slur, insert random slur here. And people there don't see it necessarily as like anything derogatory. They're just like, oh, yeah, okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just, cracker. That's me. Yeah.
People, or whatever. Don't care.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but people sugarcoat it a little too much down here. And
100%. Because it's the Southern charm kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
Or the hospitality.
Yeah.
If we crack that a little bit, I would
love to crack that. I would love to just speak my mind all the time, more than I do already.
Well,
you should probably pipe it down a little bit.
I should probably. But I mean, I feel like if we could, it's a double-edged sword, because if you speak your mind too much, especially in today's culture, and trying to get out of stuff or trying to, hey, I want to end this relationship. If you speak your mind, like you're canceled, you're kicked out, you've got charges against you, you're restraining orders, like all these things. It's like, that's the culture we live in today if you're too honest.
You know what I also find crazy? Whenever you break up with somebody, like you could be the best boyfriend in the world and everyone could love you, all of your friends like, oh, he's great, blah, blah, blah. But the second you break up with them, even if it's just for like, a reasonable reason, they just, oh, he was a dick anyway. We don't like him anyway.
Yeah.
He's so shitty to you. Remember that time he didn't bring you flowers when you came to the airport or whatever?
I think so in high school, and this is what blows my mind, is I went through a couple really bad relationships in high school.
Yeah.
And we should do an episode debriefing some of our horrible ex relationships. I think that would be a good one. I think we're deep enough into the show to where if I say something that makes people hate me,
so be it.
So be it. So with those relationships, like if I think about it critically, like with an objective mind, I loved those people at one point in my life. Yeah. And I can't look back on it and be like, man, I just hate these people. Like, I just can't do it because it's like, I really did like these people, at some point. And I think, it was just a whiff. It was a mistake here. It was a blunder there or whatever. It just didn't work out. And so like, I just can't do it. Like, I can't bring myself to hate these people because it's like, I loved those people at some point in my life.
Yeah.
And of course, like, it has no ramification on my life or future goals now because it's like, who cares? But wouldn't it be fun? Like, if we got Lexi or something in here, or like we got Izzy. Imagine if we got Izzy in here.
Just bring them both the same day. If we just
dude,
you want to talk about the tension that would be like. I want to be honest with you. I sat there and thought about that because we never had any of that. I'm not saying I would want to, but I sat there like, that would be the craziest shit. I don't know how I would react. I really don't. I don't know how it would be.
Yeah. I have no idea.
I think you brought his. I'll mediate for y'all,
dude. Oh my gosh, I think you'd be a good mediator. I'd be a bad mediator.
I feel like you'd be a better mediator than I would be.
You think so?
Yeah.
I feel like I would stoke the what is it? Stoke the coals a little bit.
Oh, maybe
stir it up.
Lexi be coming at me and saying something like, "You did this," and you'd be like, "Oh shit, Mitch, you gonna say anything?" Like,
yeah. Well, also like Lexi's a sweetheart.
Yeah, no, she's a very nice person.
She's a public sweetheart, and I think. Speaking of Lexi, so I drove by downtown Woodstock. I met my boss at Jake Christopher's.
Yeah,
and I drove right by her where she used to work.
Brooklyn's. Yeah.
Dude, and I was like, I almost stopped and took a photo of it and sent it to you and went, "Hey, it reminds you of anybody?"
It's okay. Blake sends me photos or whatever just to sit there and try and remind me all the time for whatever stupid reason.
Yeah.
Just because he gets a kick out of it. So.
Well, I wouldn't have felt bad about it either because it's just funny.
It's stupid. Yeah, it's fun. It's stupid funny.
Well, it's no implication on our life right now.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And of course, on their life either. Like they're off doing their own thing. I saw like on Facebook, like everybody, like even a girl that I knew that I was talking to at one point way back in the day, like she now lives in Colorado and is married and has a kid. And I'm like,
absurd.
Literally, I hadn't kept tabs on this chick in like 5-6 years. And then I go on their Facebook and it's just a very jarring experience to then see like, oh gosh, like, oh my gosh, like these people are living crazy separate lives. But anyway, we're at the end of the show. Thank you for tuning in. mancardpod@gmail.com, mancardpodcast, any Instagram handle, Facebook, check us out, mancardpodcast.com. We got merch, we got mugs, we got beanies, we got sweatshirts, we got hoodies. Check it out. We want to see you. Engage with us. Send us emails. We want to hear your stories so we can talk about them on the show. Maybe have you on the show. So hit us up and we will see you on Friday.
See you.